And say hello to the people, Phil.
Hello!
And welcome back to After the Hype.
After the Hype.
Our post-stream review series in which we review the game that we've been playing on H.Y.E.P. Have you ever played? Twitch.tv/2pennygames. Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Central Time. It's an all-day stream. Come check us out. H.Y.E.P., ladies and gentlemen, have you ever played? Me and Phil sit down and we show each other a game that the other one has played and, you know, enjoys or loves, or it's like, oh, dude, you gotta play this. You've never played this?
Games
dude,
from our past career as gamers.
From past, you know, maybe the future, in the future, who knows? But, you know, the things where it's like, dude, I love this game. You gotta play it. Like,
Wait, you haven't played
Yeah.
Blank?
Yeah. So this week, we did my favorite video game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
We did indeed.
Snake Eater. Oh my god, dude, I fucking love this game. This is what this whole game is why I wanted to do the show, is just so that we could get to this moment. And I'm sure in a few weeks when we get to Kingdom Hearts 2, it'll be a very similar feeling to you, but
it'll be more than a few weeks.
But but let me tell you, man, this game is my childhood from like age 12 to now. Like, I play this game not once a year, but like I play it often. Like it is often that I come back and I revisit this game and I rediscover why I love it so much. When Last of Us Part 2 and came out, and when Persona 4 Golden I played and beat, I was like, man, do I love these games more than I love MGS3? And then on my recent playthrough where I went through and platinumed it.
Wait, Last of Us 2 was a contender for you?
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah, Last of Us 2 is sitting, in my rankings, is sitting at number 2 right now.
God damn.
I love Last of Us 2. But that's a conversation for another day. But like Persona 4 like almost took it too. And I was like, fuck, dude, I fucking love Persona 4 Golden. But then on my most recent playthrough of MGS3, to get the platinum, it solidified it. And I was like, nope, it might be nostalgia. It might be the level of quality that the game is. It's probably both. It's gonna take so much to knock this from my number one spot. I adore this game.
This isn't after the hype Persona 4, but I'm just saying, like, there's no gameplay in Persona 4. Like,
it's Pokemon.
No, dude, it takes forever to even get to fucking gameplay.
It's rock, paper, scissors.
It takes fucking forever, though. Like,
oh, I mean, you say that. The game is mostly gameplay.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, the first... I feel like I was just sitting there reading for, like...
Oh, it's a lot of reading.
For, like, 3 hours.
It's a lot of reading. It is hours upon hours upon hours of reading.
It just sucked.
But it's also hours upon hours upon hours of grinding through those palaces.
I don't know if I'm
dungeons.
ever going to make it back to that.
It's just not a good. It's not a game good for streaming. So I don't think we could do it for hype. But you're missing out, dude. It's Pokemon with it's a more complex Pokemon with a high school simulator attached to it.
It's not Pokemon.
It is Pokemon.
No.
You didn't make it far enough. You didn't even get to the fusing of personas bit. Like,
nope.
like you did the first hour and a half. Anyways, but that's beside the point. We're here to talk about Metal Gear, Phil.
Yes, we are.
So we did Metal Gear 1. You were like, it's fine. It's old.
Yep.
Not really your cup of tea. We did Metal Gear Solid 2. You had a better time. You enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 2.
Okay. I'm starting to feel it.
But Metal Gear Solid 2, I don't think anybody denies, has some issues.
Oh, without a fucking doubt. It's literally just the first game. Just more fine-tuned.
Phil, every game is literally just the first game. Phil, the first game is literally the 2 games before it. The first game is literally just the game before it. Metal Gear Solid is just Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Kojima just remade the same game for 20 years.
MGS3 is not the same as Metal Gear 2.
Really?
I don't think so.
You sure?
I mean, I don't think so.
You go in to fight a legendary unit of super soldiers?
Yes, that is true, but there's way more added on.
All to stop the big giant Metal Gear weapon?
I'm just saying there's a lot more added on, and there's way more depth that they put into it.
Phil, both games end with a motorcycle chase.
Sure. I'm not denying that they're very similar. I'm just saying there's way more content to 3 than there is in 2 and 1.
You're talking narratively? or
Yeah,
like
well,
from
both.
a story point, gameplay as well?
Gameplay, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it. General impressions. How did you feel about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater?
Very positive.
Very positive. That's great. What when you think back on this game, we are a few days separated from when we beat it.
Yeah.
When you think back on this game, what is the thing that stands out to you? What is the thing that you go, oh man, that is why I like this game?
I really liked the
Excuse me.
I liked the like figuring out, okay, how do I get through here without making a ruckus?
How do I approach this situation?
How do I do this? What's the best setup for me to like switch in order to achieve this? I really like the camo system. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually.
Actually, somewhat of a controversial system.
I like it. I like that it's different areas of the game that require different equipment, essentially.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a jungle, you need like a tree or leaf camo. If you're in a building, you need like something to blend it with the walls. Or if you're in underwater, you need something like kind of darker. Or like water-like camo.
Yeah, the camo in this game people ding the camo system in this game because of having to dig through the menus, pausing the game every time you come into a new environment.
That part is bad. I just like the system itself. Like,
I don't think it's bad. I think it's
no. I think it's bad. I don't like having to dig through menus.
Fair.
To do it over and over.
Fair.
That being said, I do like the idea.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's not like you're doing it every 15 seconds.
Sure.
Or anything.
Yeah, no.
It's like okay, I'm in this area. Let me throw this on.
You're in the area for like an hour, and you stick with that one camo.
Yeah. And then you're really just rotating through
like
5, really, maybe. It depends how granular you want to get with it.
Yeah.
I'll
say 4, not 3, because there is the mountain one that I ended up using.
Yeah, I rotate between like for the jungle, because most of the game is jungle. I rotate between like 3 different. I rotate between the leaf, the tiger stripe, and the tree bark.
Okay.
But that's because like I know the maps, I know the enemy locations.
Right.
I've replayed this game I don't even know how many times. So it's like especially for the virtuous mission, I know the perfect golden path.
Oh, like the first 2 hours?
Yeah.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, but the camo system gets dinged because people feel like, oh, dude, if I'm not at 85+% at all times, then I get caught and I get killed. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like there's a little more complexity to the system than that. I mean, you do want to keep a high camo index percentage, as much as possible, but I feel like you have a lot of tools at your disposal to counter that.
I do think I think it's good to have options, like as far as like equipment goes.
Yeah.
To like what you want to use. I just feel like at some point there was too many.
You're
options.
talking
like weaponry and items and
interesting.
I feel like there's more than you need, but I
sure,
granted,
but that's been a thing with every Metal Gear game.
Yes, I'm just saying. I feel like that's probably like a gripe I have with the series as a whole, but I feel like that's mainly just because I'm only playing through these once, and there's I'm not really getting the urge to go through and play them again
and really experiment with
different stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I understand why they're there. It's just for me, it's like, oh, I'm not really going to go back.
I mean, I tell you, I had that phase of experimenting and doing goofy shit and doing all the like using the books and using the claymores and using the cardboard boxes and stuff. But now, when I play 2 and 3, it's mostly I'm just tranking everybody and going through the golden path.
I do like when games kind of spoil you for choice like that. Like they give you a lot of options.
But I always know that, I can always tranquilize a venomous snake and, keep it in my inventory for 5 hours and then throw it at a guard who's in my way.
I never even did that.
You never did that.
I never did any of that kind of stuff.
It's hilarious. So, and that's why I think it's another reason why I think Snake Eater stands above the rest of the games is because it is the most creative in that way, and
it gives the player the right to be creative.
Yeah, and it's the one game in the series I think that gives you all of these options, and all of the options are actually viable.
Yeah.
In one, do you ever really use the claymores outside of the Vulcan Raven
no.
fight?
Nope.
No, because they'll get you caught. Yada 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 yada. In this game, I'll use a claymore. I'll blow up a dog. You know, something.
Tavin Bothel, 2021. I'll blow up a dog.
I'll blow up a dog. You know, I'll use the book to distract guards, and I'll bomb food supply areas so that I can then
I've done it a few times.
You know, give guards poisonous foods so that they poison themselves because they're too hungry to even think about it. And I also feel like it's the only game in the series that that creativity extends to the boss fights. Mm-hmm. And there are multiple ways to handle every boss fight.
Yes.
Some of which
there certainly are.
Some of which you found to be quite anticlimactic from the viewer's perspective. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into some boss fights. Metal Gear, known for its boss fights. I think overall this is the best rogues gallery of boss fights in the series. But there's certainly some who rise above other ones.
I can think. I mean, if we want to go just chronologically through the bosses,
sure.
Obviously we got fucking Ocelot.
Yeah, so we're starting with the Revolver Ocelot shootout.
Not a big fan.
It's fine. It's a shootout. Yeah, it's
definitely one of the weaker ones for sure. I'd say I'd put that one probably next to last as far as how I felt about the boss
way
fights.
that one works for me is that is all about the character of Ocelot, and every time Ocelot is on screen in this game, he's fucking stealing whatever scene he's in.
For sure.
Like he's just charisma and yeah, he does meow, and he's just this hot-tempered thing, and it's that clashing against your preconception of who Ocelot is from your experience in the first two games.
We both agree that this is the best Ocelot is.
I think it's the best he is in the entire series, especially with, spoilers, because we're, doing a full After the Hype review here.
Yep.
Especially with, if you go back and you look at all his actions, with the understanding that he is actually working with you.
He is Adam.
He is Adam, the code breaker who defected and is spying on the Russians for the Americans. Mm-hmm. Suddenly everything he does makes more sense. And he's still got this edge of competition in him where he doesn't want to admit Snake is better than him. Mm-hmm. And Snake just shows him up literally every time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this version of Ocelot is great. When the Hornets come in at the end of that fight and he just starts twirling the fucking guns and killing Hornets and shit. Phenomenal. I love it so much. And then that one is we go into the dark cave section, which you got through fairly well. Yeah.
Minimal guidance. I didn't immediately, like you did as a child, I didn't immediately fall to my death. Like you said that when you were a kid, you fell down immediately because
not there in the beginning of the game because I didn't understand the camera system.
In the beginning of the
very beginning of the game.
Oh, I thought it was the cavern.
No, you don't really die in the cavern. I don't even know how you die in the cavern.
Okay.
I got stuck in the cavern. I spent the day in the cavern as a kid because I was a dumb fucking kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
But yeah, you found
stuck in a cavern.
You found that torch pretty easily, and we managed to make it through. And then Ocelot is pretty quickly met with the pain. Mm-hmm.
Very close together boss fights.
Yeah,
those two.
Yeah, the pain I think is fine.
Yeah,
it's a boss fight.
It's a good boss fight. Yeah, it's I felt it was simplistic enough to where you don't really need to explain a whole lot. It's bees. That's
bees, grenades, and Tommy guns.
Grenades, Tommy guns. Yep, he makes Tommy gun out of bees. Apparently,
out of bees. Yeah, or I always interpret it as the bees bring it to him.
But from where?
I don't know.
From his ass? I don't fucking know.
Why?
So,
anyways,
no, you just basically blast him with a shotgun.
Yeah, you just blast him up. That shotgun, man, you put that shotgun to work.
Dude, the shotgun's the best. It's the best gun in the game.
It's overpowered, definitely. I mean, I still say the trank, but
it's so good. I mean, sure, the trank if you're being sneaky, but I'm just saying the fucking.
Well, there's also a side objective in Metal Gear games to not kill anybody. Like the non-lethal playthrough.
I will fail that every single time.
Yeah,
I kill some motherfuckers.
The non-lethal playthrough is like the quote unquote way you're supposed to play.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's the challenge, but it's like after you do it and you realize how much the game actually wants you to do it that way, it just kind of becomes like second nature, and that's just how you play Metal Gear Solid.
No, I glouse some motherfuckers. I fucking glag them.
Yeah, which is fine. It's fun. I mean, I bust out the real guns, often as well. So yeah, Pain always gives me trouble because I play non-lethally, and Pain is a fucking asshole when you're trying to get him non-lethally.
Put him to sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, you did fairly well in the Pain fight.
You pretty much did the same strategy, except instead of just shooting him, you hit him with a trank. Like you basically just
you hit him with a tank, but with a trank, but hitting him in the he's got like that vest on, and that vest I don't it just makes it tougher like to hit him. Like
okay.
Each trank like does just so little damage, so you have to get him in the head, and you have
right.
And he's constantly like putting on his bee armor. And
those like ricochet like crazy bees.
Yeah, the killer bee thing. Yeah, he's constantly throwing all of his shit at you at all. So the trank really slows down that fight and makes it very drawn out. Mm-hmm. Moving on.
It's the fear.
We're going to the fear next.
The fear.
The fear, I think, is the moment that I fell in love with Metal Gear Solid.
You said it scared you when you were a kid.
It did. He's creepy, man. I mean, now he's just kind of goofy.
He's
but
just goofy, yeah.
As like a 12, 13-year-old, like he like throws his arms out of his sockets and climbs up a tree backwards. I'm like, man, this motherfucker's freaky.
Simple enough. I found myself kind of I'm not very whenever I play games where I'm like trying to aim on something. We kind of brought it up where I'm more like I'm very very tunneled in. I'm very zoomed in on whatever
you have tunnel vision, yeah.
Very like what I'm looking at.
Like,
yeah. I see everything in this one area. I'm not very like wide.
It's not what Metal Gear is. Metal Gear, you got to gotta take in your surroundings.
I'm very much like that's why I'm more. I think I have pretty good aim when it comes to video games.
Sure.
So like when I'm playing like Valorant or whatever, like I'll be holding like one specific area and somebody will be like coming this way and I will be like, I'm still looking this way. And they're just gonna fucking shoot me in the head on the left. And I'm like, fuck.
There was one time during this playthrough where I almost cracked a little bit when we were in the mountains. And you just kept running forward into a wall and there was nothing in front of you. I said, Phil, just turn the fucking camera. Like everything is to the left of you. But it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
It's good.
So Fear, an invisible enemy who shoots you with some crossbows, poison crossbows. I like the Fear. I like him a lot. I think he's fun.
It was okay. It was okay. I like the Pain fight a little bit better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just like because that's a fight that
I would put him above Ocelot, below
Pain. For me. All right, keep track, everybody at home. I like Fear because that's a fight that that's one of the fights you can get real creative with, and there's a lot of options you got, especially doing the non-lethal route. And when he starts hunting for food and you're throwing out poison food and he eats that and hurts himself.
He did that by himself.
Yeah, he killed a poison frog and then ate it.
Yep.
I was like, all right, Fear, whatever, bro. And then, but like, there's multiple ways to tackle that fight.
We played on normal difficulty.
Yeah, we did play on normal.
Played on normal.
And then like, granted, like, if you have the thermal goggles, you throw that on and it breaks the fight.
Which I didn't even do.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about it.
Didn't think about it, but you did think about it in our next fight.
Oh my god, the end.
The end. Legendary boss fight.
Most
the end.
Anticlimactic fucking.
I hate
fight.
you so much for this. Like,
oh my god.
Oh, it's such a bummer, dude. As a kid, I spent 3 days fighting the end.
Yep.
And
I would basically just I figured out I could follow his footprints.
Yeah,
and then you had the thermal camera or
and
thermal
then
goggles.
Shoved an AK up his ass.
I fucking shot him with an AK.
God, I spent 3 days on that fight as a kid, and I wasn't expecting you to take forever. I was expecting 30, 40 minutes, maybe. You spent 10.
10, yeah.
Because the setup to that fight is the end is this legendary sniper, and you're in a snipe off, and you're using all of the mechanics that you've been honing up to this point of throwing on the camouflage and tracking your targets and
They even said that
getting
in the
the drop
cutscene. They
on
were
them.
like, "Oh, so in this fight, whoever moves first loses."
Yeah, like
Guess what?
it's really it's
I moved first.
you never stopped
I did
moving.
not lose.
And it's in this fight is heralded as one of the greatest boss fights of all time. Definitely like top 2 or 3 boss
Also,
fights in Metal Gear Solid.
I don't think that I died in a boss fight until like much later.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I don't think you died until Fury. Fury killed you, right?
No, I fell.
You fell in the Fury?
Yeah, I fell in the Fury.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, watching you fight the end was disappointing because it was like you started it out right where you're like, okay, where can he be? And you were looking around, and then it was about 3 to 5 minutes into that, you're like, all right, fuck this. Like, I'm just running around until he shoots me, and I ping his location, and then I'm just chasing this motherfucker down.
I did that for like one of the second times, but then I snuck up on him. I was like, "That's him right there. He's literally right there."
Yeah.
I pulled out a grenade, tried to grenade him, and then he like, "Oh, what's that?" And
He's looking the wrong way. Yeah.
And then I went up behind him with the AK, and I was like,
"Yeah." And that's another part. At least you like caught that, because that's something that's kind of beautiful about that game is if you get both. You as the player and the end get laser focused on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So there's many moments where you're crawling on the ground and you're slowly like trying to find him and you're panning your situation, and then like you reach a cliff and you're taking in the landscape and you're like, okay, he could be here, he could be here. Oh shit, he's 10 feet away from me.
He's literally right next to me.
He's right next to me. Oh fuck, there he is.
We're literally spooning in a sleeping bag.
So, but the end is another one that like you can get so creative in that fight.
Oh, I imagine.
You can get so fucking
and I did.
creative. Like the end's got this parrot. He loves his little parrot. You can kill that parrot and use it as
why would
bait.
I kill the parrot though?
Huh?
Why would I kill the parrot?
Dude, I stun the parrot and eat it alive.
That's fucked.
Dude, it pisses him off.
That's fucked.
Oh man, and then he gets so aggressive and you take advantage of that.
You kill the man. You don't kill the man's parrot.
I killed that parrot, bro. I fucked that parrot up.
God damn.
Not every time.
And then you play non-lethally too, so you don't even kill him. So he has to live with the fact that you ate his parrot alive.
Every boss. Excuse me. Every boss still explodes.
Oh, okay. Well, still.
After they get beaten. And then, but in his dying cutscene, if you kill the parrot, it doesn't show up.
Aww.
So, but the end, something infamously, is a boss fight that you never have to really do. Because you have the opportunity hours earlier, before you fight the fear, right after you fight the pain. You have an opportunity, a quick opportunity to get a quick snipe off and shoot him as he's being wheeled away by a guard.
Yep.
Which
we did off stream.
We did off stream for the achievement, but then we reloaded it because you were going to experience this fight.
Of course.
Even though the experience is disappointing.
Yeah, you were very disappointed.
Oh, dude, it was so I was like, this legendary sniper, and you killed him by shoving an AK into his back and pulling the trigger.
Yep.
Okay. So then moving on, we get the great ladder sequence, the iconic ladder sequence where they play the Snake Eater song a cappella in full.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting it to be longer.
If you don't know it's coming, it's long.
Okay.
It's long.
I also I guess it was just like someone had modded the game where like they're literally they're going into the sky with the ladder. I had seen like a clip on Twitter like over a year ago. Like I had seen a clip of them just fucking climbing the ladder,
like a 10-minute video.
Into the sky, into this just like over and over, and then like maybe halfway up the ladder it starts with what a thrill.
That's hilarious.
And then they're still going.
Nah, the song starts pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like maybe 10 seconds in. Maybe.
Not even, yeah.
And then we meet the Fury.
The Fury, yep.
The Fury is the one boss in the game that I'm like, you could get rid of this guy. Like this guy, like he's barely mentioned in any other conversation. Basically, you never see him outside of that scenario.
He's a worse Vulcan Raven fight.
Yeah, and So yeah, I don't like the Fury.
Sorry,
Killing him non-lethally is a bitch too.
I didn't put the end on my boss ranking. I put him above the pain.
Above the pain. below. Okay. So he's number one
right now.
He's number one right now.
The Fury is going to go below Ocelot.
Yeah, at the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, I just don't like the Fury. I said this on stream. The Fury feels like a boss fight that barely made the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Like just barely, because he's not intrinsic to the plot like all the other bosses are. Quote unquote intrinsic. Like he never shows up in cutscenes.
Yep.
Like you see the fear and the end multiple times. You see the pain a couple times. And then of course Volgin and the boss are all over this fucking game. But the Fury is literally like he gets mentioned 5 minutes before you fight him, and then he's and then he just shows up and you kill him, and they don't really talk about him again.
He's like an astronaut who likes fire or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
I don't get it. It's very weird. Yeah, and it's just not very good. I don't like the Fury. And I think and it's literally like it's just like the Pain, except not as fun. It's just shoot him.
Yeah.
Just shoot him and like avoid him and shoot him. And there's just really not much you can do after such fun fights like Pain, Fear end, and those becoming more and more complex as you're going along.
Yeah.
You're expecting the complexity to continue to ramp up.
Get more and more complex.
It kind of does, except for the Fear, except for the Fury, who is just a drop off in creativity, and it's just a fight, and you're like, all right, whatever.
Pretty lame.
So then, what happens? You go to Groznygrad, you get caught, you leave, you come back, and then you fight Volgin.
Well, no. Does the Sorrow not count?
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. Let's talk about the Sorrow.
Is a Sorrow a boss fight technically?
He's an encounter.
Boss encounter.
He's an encounter. Yeah, he's not a fight though.
You just got to avoid ghosts.
Which
I think is neat that it's more ghosts the more you kill people.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Which apparently
that.
you were saying is some kind of lesson, and then right after I pass the Sorrow, I'm just back to killing. I go, here I go killing again, like Crumbopulous Michael.
Well, there's a theme there of facing the consequences of your actions and seeing the violence that you've enacted on these people played out in front of you, and how they're suffering in the quote unquote afterlife because of what you've done to them, and they were just dudes following orders, same as you. And it's the fact that you as the player made the choice to do this. And if you go through non-lethally, that encounter is shorter. Mm-hmm. You get through it faster, but
there's less stuff to
go through. Now, granted, it just turns into a lot of walking at the Sorrow as he tries to blast you with his powers or whatever. But
very Sam Raimi jump scare.
Yeah. But you get when the bosses show up, the Pain, the Fury, the End.
Yeah.
When they show up, it takes less time to get to each of them. Mm-hmm. So, and having that experience again on a non-lethal playthrough is a different experience, because it's almost tranquil. I mean, it's still haunting and it's still unsettling, but there's a tranquility to it, to just Snake casually strolling through the water. I mean, granted, the Sorrow is still trying to blast him, but just hearing the fire in the water and the Sorrow's lines, there's something tranquil about it, while still being unnerving. I don't know how that works, but it's how it works. And like that one moment in 2004, I think expresses the themes of The Last of Us Part 2 better than that entire 20-hour game.
Okay, Nakey Jakey.
Yeah, well, I mean, Nakey Jakey made a good point. He was like, this happened in 2004. Like, so yeah, the Sorrow I love, and I love that it's not a boss you fight.
It's just one that you have to make it past.
Yeah, and I love that. I love how it ends, because that shit, I was so confused as a kid. And I think I had to look up a walkthrough to like figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do, because you die at the end and then you just use the revival pill.
Oh, right, the revival pill, yeah.
And I had never done that in my playthrough, so I was like, what the fuck? So I had no idea that if you just pull left trigger, and then like I like how even you got to it, and I was like, okay, just don't hit continue. Don't hit it. Because you were like, that was supposed to happen, right? And I go, yes, don't hit continue because then we have to do it again.
God, that would suck to have to go do it all
I did it
again.
like 4 times. Like I tried walking,
and you weren't doing non-lethal.
No, I was not.
Yeah, you're a little kid.
No, I was killing people. So yeah. So then leaving the Sorrow, Snake returns to Groznygrad, plants the bombs, and then we fight Volgin. Volgin, this was the first fight where I was just like, I'm gonna just let Phil play around for a little bit.
It was kind of interesting.
And I'm gonna let him spend his first life just kind of doing whatever, and then I'm gonna start giving him cues on what to do.
So the whole like front shield was like, okay, I didn't quite understand that he was just blocking stuff.
Clearly, because you just kept ramming your head against that wall.
I was like, okay, so I just kept trying different weapons was the thing. And I would try like, the pistol, I would try the AK, I would try the shotgun, I would try fucking just hitting him with my fists. None of it worked.
None of it worked.
I ended up dying.
Yep.
And then you're like, hey, go behind him.
Go behind him.
And I was like, okay, so I just have to hit him in the back, and then not hold guns when he's
also,
like firing.
Yeah, and I was also like, hey, and when
magnetizing.
he uses his electricity, like, put your gun away.
Which which Volgin even says, put away your gun.
Yeah, so it's to kind of like try and cue you into that. So Volgin is actually a fun fight and deceptively complex.
I to be honest, wasn't really a fan.
Really?
Volgin fighting him.
Interesting.
Not really.
Interesting.
I was like, this guy's like the big bad of the game. And it's kind of like.
I think he makes up with it for how long you have to fight him post that fight with the Shagohod. Yeah. But I enjoy that fight because, yeah, sure. It comes down to, okay, just put your guns away and then like pull them out and shoot them in the back.
I would put Volgin.
Are you ranking the Sorrow?
No, because it's not really a fight.
All right.
It's an encounter, I guess. I mean, sure, I'll put the Sorrow above the Pain, maybe?
Right under the end?
Yeah, under the end.
Okay.
I would put Volgin, at least like phase 1, like the actual like fight where you're fighting Volgin. I would put that below the Sorrow, above the Pain.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
You sound more fond of it than you initially let on.
I don't know.
But there's a lot of things
it's kind of lame.
There's a lot of things you can do in that fight though. There are water pipes that you can shoot and spray water on him and stun him.
Okay, if I had done that, I probably would have liked it more.
I didn't know that until recently, like
really?
last couple of years.
Okay.
I found that out. If you have any Russian glow caps in your inventory, you can throw them on the ground and his lightning will be attracted to it.
Whoa, that's cool. That's cool.
If you wear the water camouflage, I think he gets scared or something.
What?
Yeah, he gets off put by it, I think.
Huh.
I think that's how that works. If you put on the Major Rykov mask, he thinks you're Rykov.
What?
And he goes, I forget what Rykov's first name is, but he goes, Rykov, it's you! And then you get this like crazy long window in which you can attack him.
What? That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's cool. Also, I do like that fucking Kojima's like, oh, you guys didn't like Raiden? Guess what?
Guess what? He takes the piss out of that Raiden character in this game.
Very funny.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the Volgin fight. If you do it as just a fisticuffs fight, it's very hard.
Oh, okay.
But it's enjoyable to do that as well. But yeah, that's usually one where it just turns into me just abusing those tactics that I just laid out in front of you, and then just hitting him with the trank a couple times and he goes down. The camouflage you get for him, I think it's the only one we didn't talk about. It's literally just the USSR flag.
What?
As a camo. I think it's half USSR, half American flag.
Oh, okay.
And then moving on from there is the entire Shagohod we'll call set piece and then boss fight.
I wasn't a big fan of the on rails bit.
I didn't think you would be. It's not very interactive. It's mostly just shoot the guys.
Yeah, it was very arcade on rail shooter.
Yeah, and it's fine, but on repeat playthroughs, it does turn into me just holding down.
Yeah.
Because you get the Patriot on New Game Plus, and the Patriot has the Patriot is infinite ammo, and you don't even have to reload it. So
You're
it literally just
holding
turns into
down
me
X
just
or square or
just
whatever.
holding square and just shooting, just kind of biding time until the encounter is over.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy when we get to the actual fight. I do enjoy the mechanics of the actual fight of the
Shagohod.
of the physics of like, okay, Eva is driving this way, so
do,
if I hit,
I did enjoy like the Eva driving around, you shooting
the corresponding tread,
the tread,
so that you can,
that's right. I was
so
looking
that
for
you
the
can
word.
get around to the back of it and get a nice hit on it.
I did like that. I would put the Shagohod Volgin probably above, like definitely above regular Volgin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think probably I don't know if I'd put it above the end or not.
I'll say my list is a little different, but
well, obviously you have the end at the top.
either the end or the boss I have at the top.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I really like the boss.
The boss is good.
Yeah. So yeah, just moving on from that. You beat the Shagohod. Volgin turns into popcorn.
Yeah, then there's another on the rails.
And then it's another motorcycle chase sequence until you crash. And I want to go ahead and pause here and talk about this. How did you feel about the escorting Eva, a wounded Eva, through the forest?
Wasn't that bad.
I hate
you
that
kept
segment.
you kept talking about how like terrible it is.
I hate it, dude.
I had like minimal issues.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's because you're playing on normal. It's been many years since I've played on normal, and I often try and get a complete stealth playthrough. But I hate that. I hate that encounter so much.
You were like, "Oh, they're gonna come behind you and they're gonna catch you."
They come behind you and they come fast.
I tossed 2 stun grenades and I would have been out there without even getting caught if I knew where I was going.
If you know where you're going.
If I knew where I was going, I wouldn't have even gotten caught.
See, now it made me feel like an idiot, and that's why I'm mad about it.
Because I only got caught like once.
Yeah, and then once you get past that first map, it's fine, and it's just okay. I know where the guys are, so I'm gonna just knock them all out.
I wasn't expecting them to be like hiding.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That area of the map still makes me nervous because it's always like, did I get every?
What's kind of weird is that they're hiding, waiting for you, but still they don't originally see you when you come out.
Yeah,
like it's kind of weird.
I mean, yeah, it's just the fact that the rules of their vision are still the same.
Yeah.
And them being stagnant then turns them into just roadblocks. So it's just getting past the roadblocks.
You'd think they would just like ambush you, but it's
and then the big one, the boss.
I did surprisingly well without even knowing the cheese, like the camo thing. Like I did a couple of like the martial art fucking cancel or whatever. Like
you did that the first time it happened. You did it by accident.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, you did it! Wow. I'll say your first life, because like Volgin, I just kind of let you go. And then someone had hopped into chat and said, "Yo, you can just do this," and I said, "Chat, chill. Wait for him to die."
Before I died.
Yeah. In that first encounter, you were struggling. You were like, "How the fuck? Why none of the bullets aren't working? I don't understand."
Yeah, I was like, "How is she blocking bullets? I don't get it."
Yeah. As a kid, I thought it was the fucking drum barrel.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, it's a drum barrel. It could block bullets.
It's a shield." That's so stupid.
You're a stupid kid. It's fine.
I was a stupid kid. Yeah, I love the boss. I love that fight.
It's a very good fight.
Because like the other ones, it's another one where you can there's a couple of different ways to handle it. Not as many ways as some of the other fights, like the End or the Fear or even Volgin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that one, I always do a fisticuffs fight in that one. Unless I'm going for like a speed run or something, and then I'll bust out the camouflage and I'll bust out the sniper and cheese it. But yeah, I love the she comes at you, you counter her, you throw her to the ground, you beat her up a little bit, and then you run and hide while she just unloads with the Patriot, and then it's the stalking in the grass and getting close and trying to get up on her.
Cool.
I love that.
Very
fight.
cool fight.
You don't know this. In that arena, if you try to capture every animal, there are 3 snakes in that area that are only in that area.
What?
Those snakes, Liquid, Solid, and Solidus.
Oh, that's so stupid. That's so stupid.
It's cute.
Kojima just loves sucking his own dick.
Yeah, a little bit. He's up his own ass quite a bit. So yeah. And then I guess we can talk about that last final encounter with Otacon with the juggling the guns and picking the right one.
Ocelot? You said Otacon.
Oh, Ocelot.
Fake
yes.
fan.
I know. Yeah, he's not even in this game.
Remember when Otacon, he flipped the guns around and he played Russian roulette? And he pissed himself and cucked his dad?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so Ocelot decides to have one more fight. It's not over yet!
Snake!
And then, they tussle a little bit in the cutscene, and Ocelot's picked up a few new moves. And then they do the little Russian roulette juggling thing. How'd you feel about that?
It's fine.
It's fine. You were mostly looking for it to be over at this point.
Yeah, because I was like, what? Just end.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many times you can just end. Like, there's something about a story.
Yeah.
About knowing when to end it.
Yeah.
Kojima doesn't seem to know.
No. I think this is probably nostalgia talking. I love this moment because it is, and I think it's because it's tied to the character. This is something Ocelot would do, or this version of Ocelot would do. He would be chasing Snake to the bitter fucking end to try and one-up him. Just once. He just needs it once. And then all of his defeats in the past are
I do like that there's like multiple little endings to that little bit.
Yeah, in
which
case
you told me.
Yeah, if you pick...
I got one of the good endings.
Yeah. So if
it's
a so he puts one bullet in in one gun, and then he's got another empty gun, and then he
I'm surprised
juggles
actually
those two guns.
I guessed correctly because I was trying to keep track.
Yeah.
And then there was one point where like he did like a bunch of shit at the end, the very end.
Yeah, he throws it behind his back twice.
Yeah. And
then
I was like,
I think it's this one.
Fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, you got it. You picked the right gun and you shot him.
Does it change what gun it is every time too?
It's dependent on difficulty.
Oh, okay. So the normal one's always going to be on the left.
I guess the normal one is always on the left. That makes sense because I'm always playing the game as a kid. I played like the first 100 times I played on normal. And I was always like, it's always the one on the left. And then now I play on hard every time I play, and I'm always like the left. Oh, I'm wrong. Fuck. So yeah, so like there's 4 different endings to that scene, and you were like, how are there 4 endings if there's only 2 options?
Yeah.
And I go, well, yeah, there's the 2 options of you either picked the right gun or you didn't. In which case, you either shoot Ocelot or Ocelot shoots you, and then it's a blank. The bullet is a blank. Or if you pick the right gun, you can shoot and miss on purpose. Or you pick the right gun and you just let Ocelot shoot his empty gun 6 times, and then and then there's 6 shooters, and then he goes, "Oh, I lost." Okay, so that's always fun and cute. Like
then technically wouldn't there be 5? Because I shot and it would have hit Ocelot.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's one of the 4. Is you shoot him?
There's also one where you miss.
Yeah, you shoot him. He shoots you. You shoot and miss. You let him run out of shots.
Right, but I didn't miss.
Yeah, you shot him.
Right, but
that was the first thing I said.
Oh, I missed that.
You shoot him. He shoots you. You shoot and miss.
Oh,
you let him run out.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all it for boss encounters. Overall gameplay you enjoyed. We talked about it already.
Yep.
The how to approach a situation, the creativity in which you can do, and all of the viable options you have in this game. Talked about things like capturing poisonous animals.
I was racking my brain the night we finished.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like, do I have any legitimate gripes with the game? And I don't think, other than like little nitpicks, like obviously it was like, oh, this is a thing just for the time, or like, oh, I wish that there wasn't so many menus that I have to flip through. Like, I really don't think I have any.
The control scheme is a little cumbersome.
That, I mean, sure, but I'm just saying,
it's always been cumbersome.
Yeah, it's just how it's been.
Yeah.
And that's not a gripe with this game in particular. It's a gripe that I have with the series.
Yeah.
Which is different.
That changes 4 on.
So I legitimately don't think I have, other than like small nitpicks, I don't think I have any gripes.
Nice.
Like I really like this game.
God, I fucking yes.
And I would say I have a pretty good retention of like what the story is.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into some of that then. Now, unfortunately, because of some personal business, we had to skip a week.
Yeah.
So we had started the game, played the first 4 hours or so, got past the pain, and then we had to stop.
Yes.
And then we didn't get back to the game for 2 weeks. Which is probably a good thing that we had played all the other Metal Gears, so that the controls at this point had kind of, you didn't have, you weren't like what button does what anymore, but you were like, you were rusty.
Yes.
In the first opening hours, coming back. But knocked that off fairly quickly, especially after the
rust
fear.
Off.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the story. So you start. What do you remember?
So, okay, so you're dropping in off of a fucking
Halo jump.
Halo jump, right? You're doing it wasn't like the world's first Halo jump, is that what they said or something?
That's what they say.
Whatever. So anyway,
Kojima fiction.
You're going in, you fucking drop in, you're doing the virtuous mission, which is to find the scientist guy who Sokolov is his name. Sokolov, and
who wants to defect to America.
So you have to go find him. You have to link up with No, you don't link up with Adam and Eve until after.
Yeah, that's
after
Snake Eater.
So yeah, so you're trying to find Sokolov and bring him home, or bring him to America.
His family is already in America.
Yes. So you go find him. You are bringing him back, but you're interrupted.
And when you start the mission, you're introduced to your support team. Who's on the radio that you're always...
So you have paramedic.
Paramedic.
Who's called paramedic.
Yeah.
Which is really stupid.
She's great. I love paramedic. She loves movies.
True, she does like movies.
You've got...
Major Tom,
who later becomes Zero.
Yep. And then you have Sigint, who I never called a single time.
Sigint comes in Operation Snake Eater. In Sigint's place is the boss.
Really?
The boss is on the radio with you. And this is where
remember that.
This is because we had that break in time.
Okay.
This is where that entire relationship is established of the boss is
a
mentor figure, and Snake doesn't know going in that the boss is going to be part of this. And he goes, "Wait, where the fuck have you been?" Like,
yeah. And then when she starts talking, I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Diane Simmons from Family Guy."
You ruined that for me. I hate that's a piece of information I have now.
I have a fucking ear for voice actors, dude.
But her tone is so different in this game. Like, I don't know. I never would have connected those two until you pointed out. Her tone?
It's not.
Nah, her Diane Simmons is way different than her boss. I mean, it's the same voice, but it's like, the way she speaks and the way she...
There are some lines that she delivers that I could literally see Diane Simmons holding papers in front of her on a newsstand and looking into the camera, reading a teleprompter or whatever. I'm literally like, I can literally.
It's probably
hear
just when we get to just her exposition dump backstory.
Yes, I can hear it.
1935. I'm like, all right, whatever, boss. So boss is the Snake's mentor.
Yep, mother. Well, not mother,
kind of a
mother figure.
Kind of a mother figure,
yes.
But Snake keeps saying it runs deeper than that. He never is able to describe the relationship he actually has with her. There's love there, but it's not like romantic love, but it's
just those three that are in the virtuous mission, right?
Yeah, it's just those three. So then you get Sokolov, you start bringing him back, but then
you're interrupted by
the boss.
The boss, yep, on the bridge.
He's not supposed to be there.
What the fuck?
So, and then the boss informs Snake, "Hey, I'm defecting to the Soviet Union." What?
Volgan arm.
They introduce you to your rogues gallery of villains. The end is there, the fear is there, the pain's there. Volgan's there. And then boss breaks Snake's arm, throws him off a cliff.
Bridge, yep.
Snake grabs the bandana off of her head and uses it as a sling and stuff. And then what happens? What is important that happens immediately after that?
Immediately after is Volgan. Volgan has this rocket launcher that the boss gives him, and
the Davy Crockett,
and he launches a fucking nuke on his own country.
Yes, sir, he does,
with an American nuke, so that they think
the Americans have
nuked them.
And this is 1964, so right in the grip of the Cold War.
Yep. So
this is really bad. So Snake,
Cold War about to be not so cold.
Also, in that scene where they do the tutorial for the cure menu, little quick, I guess you could call it an Easter egg, but it's really just a detail that is tied into the overall story. You can just look over to the left and you see the Sorrow's
skeleton.
Sorrow's skeleton.
Who I didn't know was the Sorrow at that point.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, Go first person, look over to the left.
There's just a dude there.
You're like, that's weird. And then like 10 hours later, you were like,
I was like, oh shit, that's the thing I saw in the beginning.
Yeah. So then
you're
Snake is
you're in the fucking woods for like 2 weeks, whatever, right?
I mean, no. I mean, they bring you home. They've got a
oh
a
right,
balloon
they have
thing
that like montage where it's like they do the snake eater thing. And
oh,
like,
and then we get the greatest fucking Bond intro of all time.
you say greatest of all time, but it was good. I like the music from the second game more. Like the intro music.
So wrong.
I like
because even the tracks that come back from 2 are better in this game. Yeah, it's a great song. But I mean, like, the alert theme is better in this game. The caution theme is better in this game. I fucking love this game.
It's good
from top to bottom.
So that's the virtuous mission.
That's the virtuous mission. Snake Eater, Operation Snake Eater starts. Mm-hmm. Snake is tasked to do what? Tasked
to recover, or either destroy or recover the missile launcher,
mm-hmm.
to destroy fucking Shagohod,
mm-hmm. Which is a it's a tank that can launch ballistic missiles from anywhere on the planet.
Honestly,
and hit
pretty well like thought out. Like not, I mean, obviously not realistic is the wrong word.
Sure.
But like, the way that it would launch it makes somewhat sense.
Of just putting a fucking space rocket on a tank.
It moves really fucking fast, and then it uses that momentum to launch
a nuke.
The nuke. Without having to have that first stage of the rocket,
which is really
space.
Yeah,
so you don't have to have the big fucking silo. You do all that.
And then in the lore, it's such a clever precursor to what becomes Metal Gear.
Metal Gear, yep.
You know, the Shagohod technically not Metal Gear because Metal Gear is something on 2 legs.
It's on 2 legs, yep.
But it's so clearly like, oh, this is where that
Shagohod
idea comes from.
It's just a big turtle.
It's a big turtle.
It's a big old turtle.
So yeah, destroy Shagohod.
Destroy Shagohod, kill the boss, recover or destroy the Davy Crockett, and get Sokolov again, right?
Get Sokolov again. Yes, sir. So then you start. We're working our way through.
Yep.
You know, we're talking to people. Boss interrupts you again.
You have to meet up with the NSA defector, Adam.
Yes, you got to meet up with Adam.
The NSA codebreaker who is pretending to be...
Those 2 NSA codebreakers who defect to the Soviet Union, real people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, real people. Real men who did that. I don't think they were called. They weren't called Adam and Eva. But
all you're given is Adam. Is the name Adam?
Yep. And then password of who are the Patriots and Lali Lulela. It's like a nice little self-referential thing. There's a lot of great self-referential things in the codec calls.
I still think Lali Lulela is stupid.
Oh, it's okay.
I still think it's a stupid name.
It's dumb, but it's fun.
And then when you go to try to meet Adam, you don't.
He's nowhere to be seen.
Then there's this mysterious person on a motorcycle that's like flashing you with the headlights on the motorcycle.
And you give her the code.
Oh, who are the Patriots?
She doesn't know it.
Say shit.
Yep. But then GRU soldiers pop out and she kills them all.
Yep.
So now we trust Eva, the other NSA codebreaker defector who's here.
And you know, Hideo Kojima, he's not what I'd call a feminist. Because every single first person shot that you can choose to like go first person in,
just tits.
It's literally just her fucking her tits.
Her chest just right out there.
Yeah, her big old chesticles right.
I
in
mean,
your face.
2004 is a different era of gaming. Like women are objects. Women's portrayal in gaming is very sexualized. Come out, Tavin? Okay, 5 it was not okay. 5 it was not okay. Quiet, not okay. Not cool. And this isn't cool or okay either, but in the times, this is what the culture of gaming was.
Insert that one. Fucking what's the fucking BuzzFeed? It's like, this is why I fucking hate video games. It's the male fantasy. That fucking meme.
And then you just hard cut to spinning Snake in the menu so that he can throw up.
So he throws up.
So yeah, we meet Eva.
Fucking Volgan going up and grabbing his crotch.
Jesus Christ. So you meet Eva. Yeah, she gives you some guns. She gives you a scientist uniform. Yep. She says, go this way. And you go that way. And And then, there's an encounter with Ocelot.
Yep.
We go through the boss fights. Yada, yada, yada. And then as we get further, and then just to skip ahead, because we don't need to give this story beat for beat. Where do you think the next major beat happens, Phil?
Okay, so
after we meet Eva.
Uh-huh.
And then it's pretty much like we're sneaking, and then I would say Granin is probably the next big beat. Meeting Granin.
Oh, the guy
suit dude.
The guy that he's like, oh, I like your shoes.
Yeah.
Or you say that.
Yeah.
And then he gives you all the info about like, oh, I would never defect from my country. I love Russia.
Yeah. So Granin is the guy, in terms of lore, is the guy who basically invents what Metal Gear is.
Yeah.
But it's a bipedal walking battle tank is so ridiculous
and
that he gets laughed out of the science community or whatever, and then Sokolov comes in and takes all the glory with the Shagohod. And then Granin kind of points you in the right direction, gives you a key card, helps you out.
Yep.
Snake goes, "Why are you doing this?" And then he says something about loving Russia or whatever. And Volgin is clearly the enemy of Russia. And then we're going forward. We're fighting bosses. What happens after Granin? I want to jump to the mountains is the next thing, and our meeting with Eva again in the mountains.
I think that's true.
Where we start talking. Eva continuously trying to seduce Snake throughout this game.
Snake's
at all times.
Focused on the mission.
But he is laser focused, turns her down every time.
Woman, there is a mission to be done.
She keeps trying to kiss him, and he doesn't, he just he locks up. No lip movement, doesn't kiss her back, nothing. And then this is where we get more development of Snake's perception of his relationship with the boss, where he goes, listen, man, she was like a mother, but she's my mentor, and it wasn't familial, but it wasn't romantic. But there's a love here that I can't describe.
Yep.
It was a complicated relationship, and Eva keeps questioning on it. Goes, okay, so you love her? And he goes,
no,
not really. And he goes, so do you hate her? He goes, wow, does it have to be one or the other? And she goes, between a man and a woman, you bet. And then she later learns that this is wrong.
Yep.
So anyways, and then we watch them in Groznygrad. Volgin is killing Granin.
Yep. In a barrel. And
then there's some talk about what is patriotism for the Soviet Union with Ocelot. And he goes, Granin was our countryman, and you treat him like this, and I don't approve of your methods. And then there's some talk, and then Boss comes in and is like, the Cobra unit is dying. And Volgin's like, damn, that's crazy.
The Fury.
The Fury. And then this is where I think Ocelot's always been suspicious. Eva, by the way, is an undercover agent. Tatiana, who snuck in. Everyone thought snuck in under the thought of
Eva, that
it was
also known as Tanya, also known as Tatiana, also known as Big Mama, also known.
Shout out to Video Game Donkey. So she's undercover as Tatiana. People think it's Sokolov's lover. Volgin takes her as his lover. And then it turns out she's really none of that. And she's working with Snake to bring Volgin down.
Yes.
And then we get to this is the first point where Ocelot really starts suspecting Tatiana. Like he's always been like, I don't know about this one, but this is the point where he's like,
he's always like,
I know you're up to something.
He's always sniffing her.
Yeah, he's sniffing her, keeps grabbing her boobs because he's like, he knows the spy is female, and there's like two females on base. It's just the boss and just Tatiana. Yeah, so that's important. There's a hidden first-person view in this cutscene. I told you earlier today at work, where when Ocelot walks away, Eva mocks him and does his little finger gun thing.
Yeah, it's not even really finger guns. It's like
it's just like a little gesture. But yeah, it's I don't know how else to describe it to audio listeners, but yeah, it's just like it's like a one finger gun. Like so you just do the.
It's like you do the dual finger guns, but it's like you have your almost like your whole hand extended.
Yeah, you're just extending out your arms and then just kind of
just like flicking your wrist.
Oh, it's great. Oh god, I love Ocelot so much in this game. So then we infiltrate Groznygrad, the weapons facility where the Shagohod is held. Right, Sokolov is here too.
They mention Major Rykov.
Major Rykov, you got to go in disguised as Major Rykov so that you can get to Sokolov. Yep. Rykov is just Raiden's player model.
He's literally just Raiden. And you happen to drop in wearing a Raiden mask.
Yeah. I think so. I think if you don't get the... Oh, no, you do start with the mask.
I was going to say, I feel like...
No matter what.
I feel like no matter what, you would have to start with the mask.
Either you start with the mask no matter what.
I'm pretty sure that would make sense.
Or
for that to have
when Eva gives you the scientist costume, she also gives you the mask.
Oh, okay.
I don't know for certain. I can't remember. I think you always start with the mask.
I feel like that's just like Kojima's fuck you to the player.
It's 100%.
Like, oh, you don't like Raiden?
He's here, but it's also the like, okay, yeah, Raiden was kind of wimpy and lame, so I'm sorry. Here, like, strip him naked and shove him in a locker like the little nerd he is. So then, you as Snake, you go to get Sokolov, but then Volgin walks into the room.
Yeah.
And him and Rykov are lovers, I guess. So he goes, Rykov, I was waiting for you in my room. And goes,
He grabs him.
And then he grabs Snake by the balls and goes,
yeah.
Oh, wait, you're not
Rykov.
I
don't know these balls.
So then, Boss comes in, beats the fuck out of Snake.
Yep.
Volgin tries to kill him, beats the fuck out of Volgin, and goes, stay out of this, and throws him to the ground. And
it's so funny to me every time like Volgin is like, he's being like, oh yeah, I'm in charge of you, boss or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and then she's like,
what'd you say?
What? And he's like, nothing.
No, you're cool.
He backs down
it's
so
a lot
fucking
of,
fast.
What you see, what I really meant here was...
I like, was that the, oh yeah, that's the same bit where there's just 3 men on the ground hurt and the boss just standing over all 3 of them.
The boss...
You got fucking Volgin, Sokolov, and Snake just all on the ground hurt.
I love how the boss is portrayed in this game, because it's so literally just, she's the cheat code.
Oh yeah.
Like, when she enters, she wins.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. She's so great.
She's awesome.
And then yeah, well, the jig is up for Snake. So then Volgin beats the living shit out of him.
Oh yeah. Kills Sokolov,
and then we have our Metal Gear torture scene.
Yeah.
In which Ocelot finally accuses Tatiana of being the spy, which he's right. And then suspicion is thrown on Boss for reasons, and then Volgin goes, cut out his eyes.
Cut out his eyes, yep.
And she doesn't do it.
There's nothing more important to a soldier than his eyes.
She doesn't do it because Tatiana gets involved, and that's why Ocelot accuses her of being the spy. And then Ocelot does his Russian roulette juggling the guns. And he's like, one of these 3 guns has a bullet, I'm going to juggle it, and I'm going to pull the trigger 6 times. And if you die, you die. And then he did this earlier in the game to Sokolov.
Sokolov, yeah.
And then
doesn't he wet himself?
Sokolov?
Yeah.
Yes.
In that scene, yeah.
Because he's scared.
He's like the scientist. He's like the Otacon.
He's your Otacon replacement. Yeah. Not nearly as cool as Otacon.
Not nearly as cool. Dude, did Sokolov cuck his dad? I don't think so.
So then Snake recognizes the gun is about to shoot the bullet and kill Eva. Mm-hmm. So he swings in, bumps into Otacon. Otacon fires the gun because he just got bumped
through his eye.
Yeah, and then that bullet hits Snake in the eye. Yeah, like and then that's how you get big later with Big Boss with the eye patch and stuff. So then and then Boss does something a little weird. She shoots a fake death pill into your leg.
Yep.
You're like, that was weird. And it's also weird that she took her time and didn't cut out my eyes. And it's also weird that she stopped Volgin from killing me earlier in the scene.
Doesn't she say like run away?
She says run.
Run.
Yeah. Which I think in context you just chalk it up to she doesn't want to kill Snake.
Yeah.
She doesn't want Snake dead, but so she's just like, get the fuck out of here. You escape Groznygrad. You have your encounter with the Sorrow. You meet up with Eva.
Yep.
Another attempt to seduce him. But this time they talk a little more and they get to know each other a little more. So like there's an actual bond and connection here forming a romantic kind of some kind. And then it's all right, back to business.
Gotta go plant some bombs.
Gonna go blow up Shagohod. You go and do that. Of course, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Eva is captured.
Eva is captured, and this is where we get the exposition dump of the philosophers, which which have been mentioned a time or two in the past. Phil, what is your perception of the philosophers?
Basically, the Patriots before there were Patriots.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the philosophers are like 12 of the most.
They're not just because the Patriots were all American, weren't they?
Yes.
But the philosophers were from different countries.
Yes.
Basically, the Patriots for the whole world, or just a certain group.
The Patriots are the Patriots for the whole world.
I thought they were just for America.
No. The Patriots are in control of everything.
Okay.
So here's
so the philosophers are basically people from China, Russia, and the U.S., right?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So
the three major superpowers.
Yeah. The way it goes is that the philosophers unified after the Second World War, and put together a fund of $100 billion. And in 1964, $100 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah. Before inflation.
And the general idea is that they were kind of running the show for a little while, but ultimate power corrupts ultimately, all that. So they were killing each other and getting greedy and stuff, and they were after each other's money and shit. So they all die out. Their descendants,
one of them being Volgan,
one of them being the boss.
One of them being Eva.
I
believe
Eva was raised by the philosophers, at least.
Yeah,
was like an agent of the philosophers.
She said she's a child of philosophers.
Yeah. But it's not like a familial, like the boss is related. Yes. Like her father was a philosopher.
Yes, but Eva doesn't have any actual blood relation, but she's a quote unquote child.
Yeah. So the general idea of the philosophers is it is the Patriots. It's the setup for the Patriots, but they aren't as effective because they all get greedy and kill each other. And then you start hearing about the philosopher's legacy, which Volgan has, or at least he has a third of the legacy. The legacy is the $100 billion scattered across the world, and he has the Soviets' third of that money.
Yes.
In which you learn that there has been kind of a play to get this money, and so there's that. And then we can get into the nitty gritty of what the Patriots are and what they become and what the story of that. We can do that at the end of this if we want.
Nah.
So then you fight Volgan, kill Volgan, Shagohod. In the grips of the Shagohod fight, Eva and Snake kiss, and they actually kiss.
Yep, he kisses her back.
And then, as Volgan gets electrocuted by a bolt of lightning, they share a tender hug.
A tender hug.
And then there's Eva talks about how, like, it's become clear to Eva over the course of this story, with her talking with Snake and her experiences with the boss, that
she starts to finally
understand kind of what this connection is between them. And she's like, dude, I really don't want you to do this. This is not a good idea. And he goes, I have to. It's my mission.
It's my mission.
Which leads into the general theme, I think, of the game, even though it's introduced pretty late into the game, but it is the major theme of the game of who are you? Are you your orders, or are you? It's
like, what is a soldier?
Yeah, what is a soldier? It's a general theme that was expressed in the first game. I think it's expanded upon here, and I think it's
way more.
I think it's done way better
and way better.
Yeah. And then when we finally catch up to the boss, she gives her whole fucking backstory about how she was in the Bay of Pigs invasion and shit didn't go well.
Also, the Sorrow and the boss are Ocelot's parents.
Yeah, that's like a hinted thing. You got to dig into the codex for that, and it's only hinted at. And then, but that's the theory, I believe, because it's way better than the answer he gives us in 4. Ugh. I am Liquid's doppelganger. Fuck off. No, you're the Sorrow's kid, and he just possessed you. I don't understand why Kojima does that. Anyways.
He doesn't refute that he's the Sorrow's child. He just says he doesn't. That's not why.
It's the thing of, like, you give us an answer, and then years later you give us a different answer, and the different answer you give us that's more definitive, a more definitive answer, isn't as interesting.
We can get more into Ocelot a bit later, but I want to finish up the.
So then, Bay of Pigs invasion. She was betrayed by the government. Yeah. She still works for the government.
She had a child.
Had a child on the field, and the child was kidnapped by the philosopher. Ugh. All of this, it kind of comes off as pretentious, but I think it's delivered so well that you kind of buy it. And the themes she expresses here are so cool, and it feeds into that twist ending so well.
About how the entire time,
baby,
the boss was never a defector.
Never defected. So, you beat the boss, The game.
You have
I
to
don't
kill
know.
the boss.
I don't know if it's the Xbox version. It's just kind of broken, and you have to wait for the timer. But you're supposed to pull the trigger on the final trigger on the boss.
I tried to. It was glitchy.
It just wouldn't let you. And that was so heartbreaking for me as a kid. I was like, no, you're making me do it. Fuck you.
It's not that you're making me. You're making me.
Yeah.
Do it. Me the player.
Yeah. And I think still a powerful moment.
Oh yeah.
20 years later,
It made less powerful by the fact that I had the fucking...
Yeah, you're like pressing every button on the controller.
I had the kabuki face paint on.
Oh, right, yeah.
The geisha face paint or whatever. Because it was white. It was like, it blends in with the flowers.
Did we rank the boss?
No, but the boss is probably... I think
it's gotta be a top 3, right?
I think for me it's my favorite boss fight.
Oh, the boss is a great fight. Great fight. And then we escape with Eva. We make it back to the States. They get a little
Alaska because they always go to Alaska.
They get a little freaky in Alaska in their little cabin before Snake has to meet the president.
Yep. And then
he wakes up alone.
Fucking bitch.
There's a tape.
God.
And Eva recorded this tape and tells Snake everything.
Yep.
Because the boss told her everything, and she's like, "Listen,
a Chinese spy."
Here's the thing. I'm not Russian. I'm not even Eva. Adam just didn't show up, and I took advantage of the situation. I'm a spy for the Chinese. I'm taking the Philosopher's Legacy.
Yep.
And I'm leaving. Little does she know she's taking a fake.
Yeah,
because Snake pulls out the microfilm out of his pocket.
I thought Ocelot had it.
No, Snake hasn't.
Okay.
And then it's revealed. She gets into the boss, and she talks about the boss. She goes, "You have to know. And this is going to kill you, but please just you have to persevere through this knowledge and you have to live," she says. She goes, "Listen, the boss was never a defector.
Yep.
Her mission was to play defector
in order to get the Philosopher's Legacy.
In order to steal the Philosopher's Legacy. But when Volgan nuked his own country,
yep,
which no one expected him to do.
Yep. Because it's fucking insane.
It's insane.
Because he's a bloodthirsty maniac.
The entire operation had to be expanded and rethought of. So it then turned into, you have to kill the boss, and she has to take the fall.
So as to not make the U.S. look stupid.
Yeah.
You have to kill your mentor who taught you everything. And
well, to be fair, the U.S. did put nukes in Volgan's hands, so it would have been it would have caused World War III, which would have been a nuclear war, and it would have been disgusting. So then you're awarded the title of Big Boss. Yeah, it's so good.
And Big Boss is now super disillusioned. He
doesn't believe in America.
He doesn't
anymore.
believe in what he's been fighting for.
Yeah,
and it feels like he's wasted.
It's crazy after this twist is revealed. Snake doesn't say another word for the rest of the game. And it's just quiet. Granted, it's all over Eva's narration so that we can have our powerful salute the grave moment, but he doesn't even, he's not even talking to other characters in the scene.
Yep.
And we cut into scenes and people are talking.
He almost doesn't even shake the president's hand.
Yeah.
Like, he's saluting the president goes for a handshake, and then he's like, he's still saluting. He's not going to shake your hand. And then he, kind of extends his hand even further, and he goes, okay,
fine, just to get out of this moment. Yep. Yeah.
And then I think who is it? It's the CIA.
It's the CIA director. I think
who tries to shake your hand and he just walks by.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck about any of you people.
Yep.
You basically made me kill my mom for nothing, because of some shit that you started in the first place. That
was your fault.
Yeah. So it's.
And then
if you're
she's going down in history as a traitor.
Yeah, as a villain. She's a villain in history.
When she's one of the biggest heroes that this country's ever known.
Yeah, buddy.
But you're destroying her life, her career.
Yep.
As this amazing soldier, just to cover your own ass.
Yep.
It's such bullshit.
Yeah.
That fucking Big Boss has to deal with.
Oh, dude. And this, if you're a long-term fan. Which the first time I played this game, I was not. This was my first Metal Gear Solid game I ever played, so I didn't know the bigger connections that this story leads to. I thought Big Boss was a really weird name.
It is.
But if you're like, I played Metal Gear. I played Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake. I played Metal Gear Solid, as most people do.
This experience of playing each one back to back like this has been awesome. Like it's been really great.
Oh, it's so good.
like the amount of things that I had only like heard about before, I finally got to experience like firsthand. Like it's been such a crazy journey of like highs and lows.
I think all three of these games are landmark moments in gaming for different reasons, and they all circulate around what can a video game be. Is it just a fun little game that you're just like playing and enjoying or whatever, or can it tell a story? Can it have good acting? Can it deliver themes? Can it deliver an emotional impact past the gameplay? Can you relate to characters? And then even in that, it starts playing with, okay, so we're giving you these stories, we're giving you these feelings, we're giving you these things. But because this is an interactive medium, can we turn all of that on your head? And can we actively, betray is the wrong word, but can we actively subvert a player's expectations, and make them do something they don't want to do? And this is in Metal Gear Solid 2 that we're talking about. And what happens when we do that? And then in 3, it's okay. Let's just deliver a fucking rock solid story and a badass moment and twist and stuff. So like, if you're a long term fan of the series, playing 3, Snake is going to turn into Big Boss, and he's going to be the villain. He's going to turn into a villain. Yeah, well,
a villain. Well, is he a villain? Is the thing?
We start graying up.
There's a huge gray area where, like, from Solid Snake's perspective, yes, he's a villain because
he recruits kids into his army. Yeah. So he's not a good guy. and nearly starts nuclear war multiple times.
But he from Big Boss's perspective, though, he had given so much of his life to this shitty country who betrays his mother, essentially, who basically robs him of being like, I was taught by this amazing soldier, this amazing woman helped me accomplish all these great things, but then you made me betray her, and you made me kill her.
Yeah, dude, I hope you play Peace Walker one day, because Peace Walker really just expands that Big Boss story and where he goes from here, and it really I love this game, and Big Boss is my favorite character in the series off of this game alone. But where they take him in Peace Walker is phenomenal. I think Peace Walker close. Isn't
that where you meet Miller?
Yes, that's where you meet Miller. Yeah. Who dies off screen? Yeah, but oh god, I fucking love Peace Walker's great. Peace Walker is different in every way.
Comparing the narrative of 1 and having, like, I mean, just Metal Gear Solid, and then having Metal Gear Solid 3, like, fucking you go from brother to fucking Big Boss. It's so fucking. It's such a fucking
It almost looks like Kojima had a plan the whole time. It almost looks that way. It's clear he didn't. He was making it up as he went along.
That's one thing I fucking can't stand. Is like, you get people that make these huge narratives that go on for years and years and chapters upon chapters, and then they're like, that was part of my entire original vision. Yeah.
I don't think Kojima has always been adamant with every game installment of this is the last one.
Is he not? He's not like J.K. Rowling.
No. He did not want to. It was he was not into the idea of making sequels ever. So for this to him spend 40 years, crafting this narrative, or 40 years.
About 40. No, it hasn't been 40 years.
The first Metal Gear is what, early 90s, 80s.
There's no way.
MSX.
How old is Kojima?
Gear release date. Kojima's in his 50s. Oh, yeah. July 20th, 1990. That's Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. When did Metal Gear happen? 1987 Metal Gear happened.
He was born in 1963. He's 57.
Yeah. That was a piece of trivia I learned this last week is he wanted Snake Eater to take place in his birth year. Oh. But he wanted the Cuban Missile Crisis to...
So he had to go to 1964.
So he had to go to 4. But I think one of the operations takes place on his birthday or whatever. I forget. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, and then oh god, I love that theme of what is a soldier, and is it his orders or is it the man
and then
behind
he goes
uniform?
from that whole thing of being this commencing virtuous mission. I'm doing this.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
I want all of this to stop.
Yeah,
I want to create my own place.
That really becomes his journey in Peace Walker. He goes, listen, if I'm like this, there's got to be more. There's got to be more like me. So he establishes Soldiers Without Borders, I believe it's called.
Yeah, it has some other name. It's got
a Spanish name or whatever, but it translates to Soldiers Without Borders. And then he starts building the early settlements of Outer Heaven.
It's
SOF.
XOF.
SOF.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's soldiers...
SOF. I don't know.
No,
it's a different language.
It's not that. I'm trying to remember.
You got to look up Peace Walker. So then we start building to this idea of Outer Heaven, a place where disenfranchised soldiers can go to live, and people like Snake or people like Big Boss rather are they are always fighting, and they, for whatever reason, that's just their fate, and they're just always drawn to the fight. Yeah. So this is kind of like a place where soldiers can not be, tied down by legislation and politics and patriotism and loyalty to a flag, but more loyal to ideals.
Yeah.
And who they want to be. So, it really quickly it's very clearly like, okay, I see where you're coming from and I see what you're trying to do, but it very quickly becomes, you start recruiting kids into your army, dude, and then you start building nukes. Like, what are you supposed to do with this? And then you start kidnapping the president or whatever. I forget what the plot of the first game is. So yeah, that's the plot of Metal Gear Solid 3, more or less. What did you overall think of the narrative here this time around?
I thought it was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's a good time.
I really like it. I liked. I'm still looking up. For whatever reason, it's bothering me that I can't remember what the fuck this fucking organization was called.
It really doesn't matter.
It's bugging me though. I need it.
Right. So Phil,
yeah.
Do you have anything else left to say about Metal Gear Solid 3? Any closing thoughts here?
9 out of 10.
I'm with you. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably where I put it. 9 out of 10. I want to go 10, but that's nostalgia talking. Peace Walker, military San Frontiers. MSF. That's right.
MSF.
I can't believe I forgot that with the fucking 60 hours I put into Peace Walker.
Yeah.
I
think we both found it at the same time.
Yeah. I found it a lot faster because I knew what to search for.
Well, yeah. I was going through Big Boss's wiki.
So yeah, I love Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm so excited.
It's very, very good
to finally have you played it. I'm so fucking ecstatic that you loved it.
I'm excited too, because next week,
oh god,
we begin Kingdom Hearts 2.
0.5 Final Mix, whatever the fuck it's called.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
I'm gonna go in open-minded. I'm gonna go in.
I promise you will have a much better time.
I hope so.
With gameplay alone, because the story is still bad.
Oh, I'm not expecting anything narratively from this
story. Story's still bad, but gameplay, phenomenal.
Well, we're gonna find out.
And plays significantly better.
Phil,
yeah,
this has been After the Hype.
It certainly has.
We've been talking for goddamn nearly an hour and a half.
Yep.
About some Metal Gear Solid.
Yes, sir.
It's a great time. I love talking Metal Gear. This is why I was down with making this show with you, so that I could just nerd out about Metal Gear Solid 3 for an hour. God, I fucking love this fucking franchise. God, it goes into such shit after this.
Only goes down from here.
Oh, Peace Walker's a great game, but 4, you're like, this is a mess, and then 5 is a fucking blech.
No, I own 5.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
I'll play it.
Sure, play it. It's fun. You should play Peace Walker. You should absolutely play Peace Walker. Peace Walker's a good game. It's different because it's built for a handheld.
I don't think it exists on Xbox.
I played it on Xbox.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, so this has been After the Hype. You can catch us little occasional breakout episodes, depending on how long it takes to beat our hype game. Hype, twitch.tv/2pennygames, Tuesday, 1 p.m. We put this out as a breakout episode at 8 a.m. Tuesdays as well.
So if you're listening,
we're live. We're live right now. Come watch it. We're probably live. Well, maybe not yet, but we're going to be live soon. If you're watching,
well, there's no way anybody sets their alarm. Oh my god, I gotta listen to Afterlife right now. I gotta do it.
Or you caught the podcast the day before, and this is tagged onto that. So anyways, thank you so much for listening. Come watch us at twitch.tv/2pennygames. Come listen to the 2 Penny Games cast with me and my good friend Connor, where we talk about video game news.
You can skip that part on the podcast and just listen to Afterlife.
And what we've been playing and all of that. YouTube.com/2pennygamescast, or any of your beloved podcast services, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, etc.
Tavin, when's it going to be you, me, and Connor?
Someday.
Okay.
Someday.
I'm excited to sit down at a table with 2 of my favorite boys on either side of me, sandwiched between them.
Talking about some video games.
Yes, sir.
Talking about some video games. Maybe when we eventually do our top 10 greatest games of all time.
Oh, that'd be... Oh! I need to make a list.
You do need to make a list. I've got a list.
I only have
I updated my list last week.
I think I have 5, maybe.
5?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I got an easy 10. I got 20 games competing for spot number 10.
I'm saying I can only think of 5 right now.
Oh, okay.
I have to delve into my library.
Anyways, so that'll be it. Until next time, probably take about a month to get.
I'm going to tell you right now, Kingdom Hearts 2 is going to be the only Kingdom Hearts game on that list of top 10 games of all time.
Yeah, so come watch us play Kingdom Hearts 2. But until then, until we come back to review that, Phil, say goodbye to the people.
Bye!